So let's talk about the target and buyer behavior today. I don't think you can really have a marketing conversation without really thinking about who are you serving. So please take a moment. This is meant to be a thought exercise as well, but think about who your target is. Um, I realize I may have people in related, not just builders, but related businesses, but regardless, I think anything having to do with your home is has a certain level of emotion to it. It's usually going to cost you some money. If you're even trying to do some plumbing, trying to put on a new roof, maybe going to hire somebody to help you, get organized. And clearly, if you're building somebody a home, that is going to be likely the largest financial and emotional decision they're going to make in their lifetime. So the reality is, and you'll see why in a few of these upcoming slides, you really need a polished professional online image. And regardless of who you're dealing with, you might be dealing with people who maybe, don't have large incomes, but they're more on the affordable side. They're trying to, buy their first home. And housing is so expensive anymore. So they probably need to have at least some means. Or maybe you're dealing with people who have acquired a lot of wealth. They want to build a second home or, a home for retirement. Um, you know, I will say those two targets are probably quite different. So you're going to want to think about what do I need to really have in my message that resonates with maybe the age, the psychographics. I mean, these people probably go on very different vacations, drive different cars, and we recommend even coming up with an avatar. So somebody that really represents your key target. And if you deal with more than one target, you should have a couple of or however many avatars you need to do so. So the National Association of Realtors does this survey, and basically 97% of uh, people searching for homes use the internet. And I think what's striking is this last bar because even set people over the age of 75, 87% of them use the internet. So the internet is no longer like for kids and you think older people really want print or something. That's really not true. Everybody is using the internet. At this point, it is not, a new platform. And furthermore, Americans are online like all the time, on average 7 hours a day. The one thing I will point out, because I find that people in the home building and related industries, their jobs often have them out. They're in the field, they're talking to clients, they're visiting suppliers. They're not online all day, but usually many of their prospects and clients are. So if you're selling to lawyers, to business people, those people are in offices, or even if they're working from home now, they are online all day. And since this particular presentation is about email, 99% of email users, which is probably pretty much everybody who uses the internet, check their email every day, and some even check it 20 times a day. So this may not represent your own personal, but I think it's important. And if you want to read the article, there's a lot of other interesting stats. This one is from Fortune magazine, March 6, 2024. So here is just an example. Again, I think you have to realize that people are online and they're online in different ways. So here is a potential, avatar family. They've outgrown their home. They both work. They have means. They have spoken to their real estate agent, but there's not much on the market, which is so true of so much of the United States. So, Tammy, her name is Tammy. She starts looking online. So she goes on Google. She saw a friend of hers on Facebook just recently built a house. She's a little worried about that. Sounds kind of overwhelming, but she starts doing some research. She finds a local builder. She signs up for his newsletter. So, one, this is very realistic. Most of us do have Facebook accounts. We use email, we use Google, certainly for something that requires any major dollars, we're going to do our research. So the question for you is, how are they finding you? What does your Facebook profile look like? Have you posted recently, or is it just out there with old content? Are you showing up the way you want to be? I think, unfortunately, sometimes people build these gorgeous homes, but you'll go to their website and they'll have homes that the photos are very dark, the website hasn't been professionally designed. So that makes somebody, have a level of distrust. That's not what you want, right? You want to have a great image. I'm sure everyone's parents told them at one time or another, you only have one chance to make a first impression, and that is really true. So you want to give them that great first impression. So, a few key takeaways: your clients and prospects are online, even if you're not. They're spending hours online, especially if they're professionals. They're using the internet to search, and that's true of all ages, not just kids. Usually, there's multiple channels that they're looking at: social media, email, Google. And at the end of the day, you really want to make sure your image is professional. And also, like if your clients are on Facebook, you want to go where the people are. You want to be there too, right? So now there's a lot to be said about Facebook. I encourage you to watch our last webinar if you missed it, because it's not as simple as that. But you do want to think about go where the people are. They're not necessarily going to find you. We don't use the yellow pages anymore. I personally throw out most of my mail, and I don't think I'm that unusual. People are more and more in a digital environment.